Eriksson. So here we are in Fornaluch, Mallorca, and we're here together with the chef, Santi Taura. And we're here to find out about the traditional Majorcan kitchen and the native wines and what kind of produce you can find here on the island. Let me ask you first, Santi, which is the oldest Mallorcan winery?
I think it's Ribas of Araceli Servera. Okay, is a winemaker. Is a very fabulous girl, and is a fabulous work from the Ribas for introducing the local grapes in her wines and the show the power of the grapes of the island. No.
Town of Consell, and we're here with a winemaker at the winery Ribas. If you were to explain for somebody that's never ever tried the wines of Ribas, what would you say is the style of your wine?
We have two lines. I have to talk about both. One Ribas line is focused on the local varieties. They are very fresh and subtle in the nose. When you talk about a Consell, it's very crisp. That you can find citrus, you can find apricot, usually Mediterranean fruits. The same with Manto Negro. Manto Negro is one of the varieties, not only from Mallorca, but in general, they are surprised by the fresh aromas because you expect from a warm area maybe something less fresh, a bit heavy. But then in the mouth, they are very long and persistent. So we try to look for that in the Ribas line, to show someone what are Mallorcan varieties. I talked about Consell and Manto Negro because these are the varieties we work with. And there's another line, it's named after my grandma, it's called Sio. There we look for complexity and terroir. Here we have a specific and different terroir. A terroir is a combination of factors that make something unique. Let's say the climate. We have a Mediterranean climate here, but we are by the mountains, so it's a Mediterranean climate protected from the north winds by the Tramontana. Then we have a specific soil. We have a combination of factors, the variety, that make our wines unique and different. And this is only possible, also again, when the vineyards are old. In the CO, we want to show that factor. We want to show Mallorca. So Ribas would be variety and CO would be island and terroir.
What's the great history of the winery?
We are known in Mallorca for being one of the oldest wineries. We have a 300-year-old history because the winery was constructed, not this one, we are in the new one, it's just 1 year old, but the old one, where we make the red wines, was constructed on 1711. And it has always been in the same family. So my brother and I, we are 10th generation. And we have been making wine non-stop since then.
Ribas then have a very clear strategy, very clear concept of the two lines. Where in the world do you sell your wine?
We export between 35 and 45% of the production, mainly to European countries. That main countries are Germany, Switzerland, and Sweden. Are countries that are interested in gastronomy.
Now we're standing in a fantastic new cellar here by a world-famous architect. What made you decide to make this fantastic building here?
Well, several reasons. The first one was that it was complicated to make wine in an 18th century building. Why Rafael Moneo? Well, because we had the chance, because it's not easy at all, he has projected the winery of Álvaro Palacios, who is one of the top winemakers in Spain. He has also constructed a winery for Chivite, one of the oldest wineries with more tradition in Spain. And why Ribas then? Well, he's got a love for Mallorca. We have some common friends, and he really loved the winery. He wanted to, because now we are in the modern winery, but I invite people who come to Mallorca to come and visit with us the old winery and the old house that is preserved as it was at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So it was very interesting to have a very modern building just next to a very old building.
If you were to define the history of Mallorquin wines, what would you say?
Wine was a way of life for Mallorcans. It was very related. It was part of the culture and the gastronomy. Mallorca has a lack. We don't have rivers. We don't have so much water. So vines can survive in that climate. So it has always been here. So for 2-3 centuries, the golden years for wine in Mallorca, it was the main crop in terms of economy. Now we are trying, the wine industry, we are trying to go back to that times, but with a change. Now we have focused in quality, and that's the only way.
Do you think that there is a concept that you could call Taste of Mallorca?
This is what we try to show, yes. We strongly believe in terroir, and terroir is a combination of aspects. Maybe there are different tastes in Mallorca, that's interesting, but there's something common. We have a climate in common, some different soils. We have a way of making things, we have our own varieties.
What about the future then for wines from Spain?
We now entered an association of wineries that have peculiar, specific and unique soils. We were someone proposed us as candidates for being in this special club, and it's very difficult to be a member. One of the reasons why they decided to choose Ribas is that we are one of the only wineries that have a department of research. Thanks to that, and thanks to also to the wines that were very well rated, we could announce our membership. We have to talk about that because Mallorca, as a wine area, being one of the 30 wineries with a special soil for wine.
If you were to give an advice to a young person that wants to become a winemaker like yourself, what would you say?
Travel around, work with the best winemakers, because the best way to have a perspective and make the best wine is to know what other people do.